All right, time for the large degree view. Right. So from the lows, I think everything still remains intact. One thing I want to point out here, look at how this D wave expanded. I think that's important for my discussion here. Now, first of all, I think that my previous count where I said the small DE pattern happened at the top, it gets dismissed in this video, right? And we look at it from a different perspective. Okay? We take the perspective that wave 3 ended 2017. We had an A, B, C, which is one of my original counts, D, and this being an E complete, not because the waves are 100% clear. In fact, the count that I have, the the last move down, the wave 5, is very small. But the thing is, I've been seeing this across a lot of the patterns where you have small wave 5s. Let's take the the retail approach, right? Let's take the retail approach and let's go for the trend line break as the confirmation for wave E, right? Let's do it. Why not? The channel's there. The channel looks good. A lot of interaction with the channel seems to mean something, the way that it's interacted, right? I'm sure you could draw a million channels on this thing. So that's not really the most important thing. The most important thing is this count. Why would wave 4 be so drawn out? Probably because wave 2 was not that drawn out, right? Alternation. So you could say the same thing about wave 4 here. Why was this so expanded? Once again, alternation. So then we're taking the view that there's only one thing left for Bitcoin to do, and that's to make another all-time high, right? How is it going to do it is another question. I reckon it's just going to be straightforward five-wave moves up, five-wave move up, and we don't really know to what extent. All right. Now I know that you probably want to aim for the moon, but let's just aim for the all-time high. All right. We're just going to aim for 68,000 or 67,000, whatever the hell it is, right? And that's going to be a point of importance, right? Let's just say. Now, okay, so that's the large degree view, but I'm also going to drill in with this video because that part was pretty straightforward, right? Now, the D wave, once again, expanded. I can't really say that's a five-wave move, right? And I think that perhaps, like I said, some of my analysis has been a bit shit. So I'm first to admit it. That's fine. So what happened? What happened here when we actually fell out of this area is that we popped back up. Interestingly enough, right, it happened during the course of that last run, right? Now, for me, one of the most insane things that I can say I've seen on this chart in particular is the level of insanity, how it went from being so choppy at the lows to being full on crazy waves, right? So, yeah, okay. So let's just say that this is wave 1. I've drawn out what I believe could be the actual count for this move down that happened, right? A, B, C, D, E. All right. That's my current view on this at the moment, simply because it actually, I can't say that it doesn't make sense, right? In fact, it makes more sense than what I thought it was, but it is choppy as hell. I don't know why I would have thought that it's a five-wave move. Okay. Ridiculous, stupidity, moron, idiot. I get it. That's fine. I've already done that to myself, but it's also made me go to work, right? Go to work because I traded this up. and I could do it again, except I know where I'm going makes it easier, right? So if we're going to do this, we're going to have to do it at the small degree because this is going to be sharp as shit. And if you don't like small degree activity, well, I'm sorry, because a lot of the stuff here is going to be small degree. I cannot possibly trade this accurately enough if I'm not looking at the 1 minute chart. And I'm not just saying that I trade based on the 1 minute chart, I trade based on all degrees of trend. All right. Now, at the lows, sure, those waves were deceptive as hell, just like that correction was. But I think now we have an understanding of what's going on here. And we could also learn a lot about how waves expand in impulsive moves, because that's what it is. It's an impulsive move with a lot of expanding waves, right? A lot of these moves, they're not even the impulsive part, like the wave threes and the wave ones and the fives, right? A lot of this stuff is gearing up for a massive move, which is, for me, it's amazingly fascinating to actually have traded part of this already and to like notice little things that cause support, right? And then you trade that, and then along the way, we're going to see a lot of that sort of stuff, right? I'm sure that at one point we're going to get into the meat of the move to the point where really it's going to be hard, right? There's going to have to be some positions held in place because of the sharpness of the moves that could potentially come our way, right? So, like down here, right, when I said, okay, this is telling me long, right? I just woke up in the morning groggy and I called that. So if I can do that half asleep, I'm sure that if I know what the hell I'm trading, it should make life a bit easier. Okay. So there's probably going to be so many subdivisions in this, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. I'll update my labeling properly soon. But for now, we have to remember a few things. Like, remember this wave here, how that expanded up? When the hell does B wave do that? Right? The B wave was longer than the first move, the wave one or whatever. Right? So one, A, B, C, D, E, like two, like how many times is this going to subdivide? It doesn't really matter because as long as we use those ends of corrections as support along the way, the support should hold every time in an impulsive move. All right. So this is what I took away from this. Right now, we got one tiny one, A, B, C, D, support again. Right. So support should hold here until we get something else happen. I don't know how else it's going to expand and what it's going to look like, etc. Right? But to make sense of these waves is pretty crazy. Like, what are we looking at here at the lows? Like this is important, right? To some extent, I have to like do a little bit of work to realize maybe what I'm looking at here. But at this point in time, if we break those highs, I hold the position until I see a correction that makes sense. It creates a new support, take off my trade, put a new trade on, right? I'm going to play it like this, right? A move, support, take it off, put a new trade on, repeat, rinse and repeat as we go up, all right? Now, if I see anything along the way that tells me it's running out of steam or it's looking weird or whatever, well, I'll let you know because there might be obviously larger corrections along the way if we're going to look at you know, like a wave one and then like a bit of a pullback wave two, and then before we head into the really impulsive stuff, right? Because you got to think about it, right? It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. So where are we at the moment is we're still pretty low. So could like in all honesty though, this could be the third wave now. All right. But the third wave will also have a lot of internal structures that will make sense along the way, right? It'll probably get really crazy to trade, but at the same time, it'll probably be a really good idea, especially if I can pull it off. I'll try. All right. I'm not promising anything. It'll just be interesting to see exactly how the hell that works out. Uh, it's obviously easy at the start, but will it get harder towards the end? I don't know. Possibly. All right. So the wave E idea, out the window. Goodbye. I think that now it's all about waiting to see how this next move progresses, right? Now, given that we've seen a five-wave move down already, I don't really anticipate like too much BS happening down here, right? I think that I just need to figure out exactly what this is. My first take on this is that we have a wave one, and an A, right? An A and potentially a B unfolding, right? And then we'll get to C. And then what typically happens is you get the D wave that goes absolutely berserk, right? Um, this is an interesting thing about D waves, right? Is that they make you think the trend is going to continue, but then it comes back down to make you think otherwise, and then it continues. Right. This is the one thing I've always noticed about D waves. I've just never seen this type of price action before. At like I've never traded such a small degree, massive moves like this. It's just it looks fun. All right. So right now, all I can say is, well, let's just see how it rolls because, I don't think if I didn't identify this as a DE pattern, I don't think there's any way I would have thought that what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing. Right? The one thing that sort of led me to this idea is that why are we seeing such an expansion with no actual wave 3 in here at all? There is literally no wave 3 in here. There's none, right? All you've got is a set of 1 2s all over the place. 1 2, 1 2, 1 2. Like, until what point do you get 1 2 before you see something explode to the upside, right? This is the type of thing that I'm talking about. So, um, yeah, I'll leave it there for now and catch you on the next one.